Guys, how's it going? So today I'm actually going to be repairing my third brake light in my 2008 Grand Prix. This works for all 04 to 08 Grand Prix, and what you can see here is the third brake light actually broke right off where it attaches. Alright, so you can see right here, see if I can get focused, this is where the third brake light actually attaches. And on both sides it actually broke right off. The plastic surrounding the screws broke off. Now this is actually caused from just age, opening and closing your trunk, gravity coming down on this, bumps in the road, things like that. I mean, over time this will happen. So unfortunately it's pretty much unavoidable that this is going to happen to you. And there's actually a couple ways to do this. You could just buy a whole new one and be done with it, or you can use a trick that I'm going to be using that actually you can do even if yours is not broke to keep it from breaking. So I'll go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so the tools that I'm going to be using for this job are a 1/4 inch drive ratchet, a 1/4 inch sized 1/4 inch drive ratchet, so 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, and I'm also using a standard Phillips head bit. I'm going to be using these number 10-32 by 3/4 inch screws. These are machine screws, and then 2 of these washers. These washers are a 1/4 inch by 1 1/4 inches, and that's how I'm going to complete this job. Alright, so this is a 1/4 inch drive ratchet, a 1/4 inch socket with a bit, a Phillips head bit on the end. It's just a standard bit. And this is what I'm going to use to get the third brake light out. So this is short enough to be able to get in there and get the screws out. Okay, so this is kind of hard to do with just one hand, but this is exactly what I'm doing. Okay, and you just basically, if you have to angle it up a little bit, then you do to avoid scraping your paint, but you just lefty-loosey, and once you get it down to a certain point, you can undo it by hand. So both of the screws are out now, and this is exactly what happened. This piece right here, you can see there's almost no surface area there. It's actually kind of ridiculous that this little itty-bitty spot right here is supposed to hold this whole thing in, but yeah, whatever. So anyways, now what we can do is we can just basically take the washers and put them in place. You want to make sure they're underneath the third brake light, so it'll look like this. So these machine screws are actually about $1 for the bag. Now the reason that you have to go with these is because, and I have one of the screws here that holds the third brake light in, is because when you've got the washer that's going to be on the underside here, what you can see here is there is a slight raise right there. See if I can get focused. There's a slight raise here, and if you tried to use the washer and the stock screw, it's not going to reach the hole in order to thread with. Okay, so that's really important. So you're going to need something that's slightly longer, and if you look here, I've got a comparison on these two. This is the stock screw on the left here, and then this is the new screw on the right. It's probably about a 1/4 inch longer, and that will allow me to reach the hole so that I can obviously hold it in place. And so you want to make sure that you get the number 10 by 32. That's the identical thread count. So this thread style and count is the same as this one here, and that's really important. Okay, so I haven't tightened these down at all, but you can see how they're going to look when this is completed. So really, I mean, if you're that worried about this nub sticking out, if you think somebody's going to get real close and say, oh, that looks so tacky or whatever, obviously you want to get a new third brake light. But before you thread these, make sure you plug in the actual harness first, otherwise you're not going to be able to reach it. So plug in the harness first, then by hand, do this one side at a time. Just bring them up, thread it, find the hole, thread it by hand, get it up there as far as you can by hand, and then use your ratchet and your bit to finish the job. And one last thing before I forget, because the hole is actually smaller on the underside, make sure that you push the third brake light and line it up on both sides before you tighten it down completely, because it might actually hang out. I can demonstrate this here. I can actually tighten it down just like that, but then there's going to be this incredible gap right here. So make sure you push it in, make sure it's flush all the way across. So I've got mine flush, and now I can tighten down both sides. Alright guys, the repair is complete. Yes, it's not exactly the most ideal, but I didn't want to buy one of these. You could get one at a junkyard, I suppose, but I'm cheap, so it doesn't bother me that you know, these two screws are sticking out a little bit. It really doesn't bother me. So if you're kind of a redneck repair like I am, and you want it to work just right and not win a beauty contest, well, then this is the perfect solution for you. So if you have any questions, definitely let me know, but essentially we just came up with a redneck way to fix this. Alright, so take care guys.